up, you guys? I've been finding some just really crazy things over the last few weeks. Today, I thought it would be kind of fun to just share with you guys some of the cooler, more random things that I've found that have been my absolute favorite. One of the things that I found that I just thought was so random and so cool was at the flea market, and I see this propeller laying on the ground, and it's super cool. Back in the day, they actually made these old propellers out of wood, which is sort of terrifying to me. You're in the air, being held up there with wood things that are spinning really fast. Does that not make anybody else nervous? It's not in great shape, obviously it's destroyed, but I noticed that there's like writing on it and there's some pictures stuck to it, and I'm kind of very curious to figure out what this thing was. I noticed that there's actually a name written on it. It says crashed, and then has a date in the 1940s. And then there's a photo of a woman sitting in the cockpit of a plane. I looked up this woman's name and I really wasn't able to find anything. You just don't know if this was like a serious crash or just something that was not that serious. I feel like it probably was, in order for them to kind of create this whole situation out of the old propeller from the plane that crashed, which I think is insane. They only wanted $40 for this, which I'm like, ugh. You guys, look at this thing. So I did end up getting it, and so it has, here's the name, and unfortunately some of it is worn off. So like the date looks like it says 1941. Then there's a picture of a woman in a cockpit flying a plane. And maybe if you guys know what this means, that would probably be super helpful. I don't know what that means. This thing was destroyed. Destroyed. So I definitely had to put that on my list of my top things found, just because I think it's so cool. So this is the next thing. This is just like, for me, kind of a mixture of a lot of my favorite things. Like, I love old advertising. I like when you can date something. I like when you can tell me where it was from, and it has some really cool history, and it's an amazing shape. You guys know the gum called Chiclets, right? Back in the day, in the 1930s, this was how you would have bought a small pack of Chiclets for a penny. For a penny, you put it in the machine and it gives you a little box of Chiclets, which I think is, you know, when was the last time you get anything for a penny? They're only asking $130 for it, which is a really good price for one of these. You can probably sell these for anywhere from $250 to $300, sometimes even $400 for one that's in really good condition. And this one is in really good condition with the original key. I mean, you guys, look at how nice this is. So these would have actually been installed in like subway stations or train stations in the 1930s. And if you got off your subway and you needed some Chiclets, you could just go and put a penny in this and get a little box of Chiclets. This piece just comes down. And then the inside smells like crayons for some reason. There's some Chiclets in here! Look at that! Oh my gosh. That's some green, they had yellow. That's pretty cool. And it sounds like there's money in here. How do I open the bottom? There's gotta be a way to get the money out. Oh! Okay, I figured it out. You don't really make very much money, especially in this day and age. Pennies don't get you very far. I am a huge fan of art glass in general. Murano and Venetian art glass are by far some of the most collectible versions of art glass that you're ever gonna be able to find. But for a while they were doing really popular figural candle holders. These were like people, you can get them with angels or dancers, and these things can be incredibly valuable. And if you can find one in really good condition, they can go for several $100s. So I go to this antique shop, and right on the top of this cabinet, I see this insane Murano art glass candle holder, and it's one of the old figural designs. It's got a lot of gold. The coloring is really beautiful with the deep reds, and I noticed that they only want $26 for it, which is a little bit mind-blowing to me because one, you just never see these, and two, if you do, they are usually so expensive. I also noticed that the tag also says as is, so I'm kind of like checking it over to figure out what is wrong with it, and I noticed that it's missing a leg. It's just like the whole back leg is completely gone. It's a clean break, it's not shattered, I don't know. For $26, I had to get it for $26. The craftsmanship is really incredible. It's got the gold in it, which people really like. It's just this leg. I can't believe you can just kind of like put it in a corner. Put it up against the wall and nobody will even notice. This next one is really interesting. I don't know anything about bagpipes. I've never played bagpipes. I don't even think I've ever touched a set of bagpipes, but I found this set of bagpipes at the flea market and they wanted $100 for them. The one thing that I do know about bagpipes is if you can find them like this with the wood and the bone detailing in them, they are incredibly rare and incredibly valuable. The other thing you're gonna wanna look for is some kind of a maker's mark. These did not have a maker's mark on them, but they're still very valuable and I'm still excited to find these for $100. I did get these and they've already sold. Like they sold super fast. I think I undersold them. So I sold these for $700. I noticed that the guy that bought them from me ended up reselling them a few weeks later for $900. So apparently I need to do my bagpipe research next time because I left some money on the table there. Now we all know bagpipes with bone is the way to go. Don't undervalue your bagpipes, people. I can't tell you this enough. I have shown you guys some really amazing furniture from the Bamileke tribe in Cameroon. The Bamileke people are famous for their stools and for their furniture. All of their craftsmanship is amazing. I've shown you guys some things that were made out of bronze from this area, which is a little bit more rare. They have a lot of stuff that's just gonna be made out of wood, and everything is gonna be made for a specific person of a specific status. So this is incredible, you guys. This is a Bamileke drum, which I have never seen one of these before. This drum is next level. The entire thing is completely hand beaded. It's massive. This dealer actually worked with me and sold this drum to me for $150, which I think is a really, really good price for something like this. So look at all of this beading, you guys. And then the top, it's like rawhide and it's completely tied in at the top. It's like solid wood, you guys. It's so heavy. Ugh. That was uncomfortable. That was very heavy. Goodness. This next thing is so funny to me. I make fun of Victorian era people a lot just because it was so extra. The clothing was crazy, like insanely large dresses. The architecture was insane with all of the wood carvings and every doorway was super intricate, and I love making fun of that for some reason. This next thing that I found is really, really cool. So this is a Victorian call box, and this would have been in a house that would have had servants, and if somebody needed something in a specific room, these bougie people would just go push a button. I'm in my library and I'd like a cold beverage. I'm gonna go push a button, and then my servant in the basement is gonna know that I'm up in the library and he better bring me a beverage quickly or I'm going to be very, very upset. It's just crazy to me. I just love it. And instead of just like hollering to someone, hey, can you bring me a Pepsi? You have to push this button, and then they have to come all the way up the stairs and be like, yes sir, what can I get for you? And then you ask for the Pepsi, and then they go back down to get the Pepsi, and then they bring the Pepsi back up. Anything like this is actually very cool. And this was in such good condition, and you can kind of see like the back, all the wires and stuff that went into it. If you were in like a giant house, some of them would have just like 50 rooms on it. This one doesn't have that many rooms, but I mean, I still think it's just so extra. Whoever had it has kept it in really good condition. What I also love is that it's dated at the top, but they didn't feel the need to put the 18 before the 89. Nope, somebody is gonna be looking at this in 2020, and it's very weird that you just would assume that someone would just know that it's from the 1800s. Just put the 89, they'll know. They'll get it. What else could it be? I don't know. 1989 was a long time ago as well. I love that I found this, and I love that I could show that to you guys. I don't know why I have such a weird obsession with dental equipment. I just do. Dental equipment is terrifying, right? Everything looks very sharp and very painful and very robotic, even when it's not. Some of these old dental articulators can go for a ton of money. I randomly popped into this estate sale one day that I guess belonged to a dentist, and he was liquidating all of his dental articulator equipment, and I mean boxes and boxes and boxes, but they wanted a lot of money for this stuff, you guys. This was not like, give me $20 and call it a day. This was like, one box was labeled $450. Another one was $200, another one was $300. I want everything. How do we make this work for everyone? They did give me a really good price. So they ended up selling me everything for $600. I know it still seems like a lot, but one of these complete box sets like this can go anywhere from $600 to $1,000 just for one box. So I definitely did okay. The only issue is there's a lot of little pieces and I have to go through it and I need to figure out what's here and what's not here. I know that they're not all complete. Already I feel like a spy because everything comes in these like super cool briefcases. This one is the one they wanted $450 for. But look at all this stuff that comes with it. It's cool, you guys. For the most part, it looks pretty complete. There's just a few things that are not there. At $200 a box, I can do that. And so I was very excited to get all of this old dental equipment. So random, but so much fun, and definitely one of my favorite things. This next thing is so crazy. I've never seen one of these before. Payphones are so cool to me because nobody uses them anymore. Already, today's generation looks at a payphone and they're like, huh? So I'm going through this antique shop and I see a payphone and it's sitting on the floor. But what I like about it is it's got this really cool, very like clean stainless steel design. And I'm like, that's interesting. Like normally you'll find them and they'll just be like a black old payphone, but you don't ever see them in silver. And if you do, it's like a chrome. But this, it's like a stainless steel. It's like, this looks very clean. But where do you put the money? There's nowhere for the money to go. What, how, what? And then it dawned on me, this is a phone that somebody took out of a prison and now it's for sale for me right here today. And I am going to be buying. Collect calls only. So you could only make collect calls, but doesn't this just have like such a cool look to it? It's so clean. And it's from a prison, which is kind of cool. They weren't asking a lot of money for it, so I was excited to find that for sure, and I definitely wanted to show that one to you guys. And the last one that I'm gonna share with you guys, I really, really liked. I was in this antique shop, and there were these really amazing sort of surreal paintings that I really liked, and I touched one, and it was made out of glass. So it was a reverse glass painting. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Croatian art. There's a lot of artists that come out of Croatia that paint in this style. It's very colorful, it's very stylized, it's got a really, really great look to it. And what's really cool about glass paintings like this is they just have a really sharp look to them that you don't really get on a painting that's done on canvas or a painting that's done on wood. This has really, really clean edges. The colors appear to be very vibrant and striking. So I had to get these, you guys. One of them was only $65. The other one, they wanted $45. That's really, really a good price for these. So the details on this are really cool. It's just really colorful. The problem with painting on glass is you guys see that little thing there, it starts to flake, and that's just what happens with glass paintings, which is why it's not always the best thing to paint on. This one is my favorite. Look at this! I mean, it just looks so weird, right? And I love the colors, like the sky looks amazing. The details of the snow, the trees. These are both done by fairly well-known Croatian artists. It's just interesting to have to do a painting like this. Like you can see the back. You have to paint backwards. So like all of these details that you're seeing have to be done first. So it's not like this where you can like add things later. It's like you've got to be really methodical because you have to like paint backwards, which is crazy. They're awesome. And I was so excited to find these, and I'm super excited to be able to show these to you guys. I am actually super curious. What was your favorite thing that you saw? Everything I showed you was like some of my favorite stuff. So let me know which ones you loved, and I can't wait to read your guys' responses. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, make sure you do now so you don't miss future episodes. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.